going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound, where we're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Monday, October 30th, 2023. Before we get into it, though, if you like this content, make sure you drop a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $19 best bet and my NHL power play, make sure you head to Pickdawgz.com and click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. You ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. First, we head to the TD Garden, where the Boston Bruins take on the Florida Panthers in a Stanley Cup playoff rematch. And I have to think that this Boston Bruins team has had this game circled since the Florida Panthers upset them in overtime in Game 7 last season. I think the Boston Bruins, all they've had to hear about this offseason was how last season was, a nice regular season, but it was a complete bust once they got to the playoffs. You can win however many games you want. You can win 60-plus games in a year. You can put up 135 points. But if you get eliminated in the first round, does it really mean anything? I think that the Boston Bruins come out with a purpose here. The Florida Panthers have been able to win games here and there. They're coming in on back-to-back wins and wins in 4 of their last 5. But I think that the Boston Bruins are just on a mission here, especially being at home in this one. I got to go with the Boston Bruins in this one on the money line. Next, we head to the Wells Fargo Center, where the Philadelphia Flyers take on the Carolina Hurricanes in a Metro Division battle. And, the Carolina Hurricanes finally starting to pick up some wins. They got a pair of back-to-back wins at home over the Sharks and the Kraken. But now they head back on the road, and we haven't seen, a lot of good things from the Canes on the road this season. They've lost 3 straight road games against the Lightning, the Avalanche, and the Kraken. A couple of those are some of the better teams in the NHL. But make no mistake, this Flyers team is holding some value early on. Sure, they've lost 3 of their last 4, and Carolina head-to-head has had the bulk of the success in this matchup, winning each of the last 7 meetings. But it's worth noting that each of the last 4 meetings and 5 of the last 6 have been decided by 1 goal. I think Philadelphia's goaltending keeps them in this game. I think that worse, this is a 1-goal game. I wouldn't be surprised if we needed overtime here. Might sprinkle a little bit on the overtime, the 60-minute tie at plus 330. But I'm going to take the Flyers here plus the 1.5. Next, we head to the PPG Paints Arena, where the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Anaheim Ducks. And, don't look now, but this Anaheim team, a team that I kind of crapped on early on in the season, all of a sudden 3-2 on the road, a winning record away from the Honda Center, as well as 4-1 on the puck line on the road. A lot of those were in the underdog role, so they have been able to cover the puck line. But also, like I said, when they beat the Flyers, they beat the Boston Bruins in overtime. They came back from 2 goals down late to win that one, and they won 3-2 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Pittsburgh Penguins, sure, they're a solid team. They've got still some solid pieces on there, guys like Malkin, Crosby, and the like. But they've also lost 4 of their last 5 games. We talk about all the time, this is an aging team that's not, getting any younger. And I'm just not a fan of the goaltending in Pittsburgh. I think the Ducks, the way they've been playing, especially on the road, in their current form, I think they want to finish the road trip on a high note. I'm going to take the Ducks plus the 1.5. I'm also going to put someone on the money line at plus 200. Next, we head to the Amalie Arena, where the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Seattle Kraken. And, the Seattle Kraken team has been able to battle. They've gone 4-2 on the puck line on the road. They have kept games fairly close. Actually, their last 3 games have all been decided by 1 goal. The last couple have been on the losing end. But Seattle's battling. The problem is that, the Tampa Bay Lightning, a team I crapped on for the goaltending, they're sitting on back-to-back shutouts. Now, sure, maybe the win over the San Jose Sharks last time out wasn't anything to write home about. They won that game 6-0. But they also won the game prior against the Carolina Hurricanes 3-0. And for my money right now, scoring continues to be an issue for the Seattle Kraken, who have scored 2 goals or less in 7 of their 9 games this season. I think that's not going to cut it here against the Tampa Bay Lightning that still possess one of the more potent offensive units in league, especially when you're looking at the power play. So give me the Tampa Bay Lightning on the money line in this one. They've won all 4 meetings against the Kraken. I think they make it 5. Next, we head to the Canada Life Center, where the Winnipeg Jets take on the New York Rangers. And, the New York Rangers are playing some solid hockey right now, especially on the road, where they are 5-1 so far this season, 4-2 on the puck line. And they've won 4 straight games coming into this one, all on their current road trip. So one's got to think they want to at least finish the road trip on a high note. Meanwhile, the Winnipeg Jets looking to calm that down. They just had their 3-game win streak snapped at the hands of the Montreal Canadiens. And, Winnipeg has normally in the past been a tough place for opposing teams to go on the road and win. But the Winnipeg Jets have struggled lately. They've dropped 21 of their last 27 games against a team with a winning percentage above 600. The Rangers are just playing the better hockey right now. And this is going to be a battle of solid goaltending, but between what looks to be Igor Shesterkin and Connor Hellebuck. But for my money, the Rangers just the better team. I think the Rangers win a low-scoring battle, maybe a 1-3 wins kind of game. So I'm going to take the New York Rangers on the money line with the under 5.5 in this one. Next, we head to the UBS Arena, where the New York Islanders take on the Detroit Red Wings. And it's the Detroit Red Wings team is mired in their first losing streak of the season. They lost 3 in a row with a 4-1 loss to the Boston Bruins last time out. Meanwhile, the New York Islanders, winners of back-to-back games after a 2-0 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets last time out. Now, the one takeaway for me from these games has been that, the Detroit Red Wings are starting to struggle for the first time. We've got to see how they kind of recover from this tailspin. And I just don't know if the Detroit Red Wings are going to have the easiest time. And I think that the New York Islanders are a tough opponent for them to come in and try to snap this losing streak against. You've heard me say it before if you've been watching the wraparound. The Islanders like to play this defensive, physical, gritty style of hockey that just wears you down and is not. It's kind of like, you know, not wanting to get up and get out of bed when you're hungover. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to do it, you have to, and it's just you're gonna be miserable doing that whole time. I think that's what we got here with the Red Wings going to take on the Islanders. But I also don't know if I want to lay this price with the Isles. Just considering that style of play doesn't lend itself to a ton of goals, and sometimes it can be like pulling teeth trying to get the Islanders on the money line. So I'm gonna take the under 5.5. I think it's just gonna be a low scoring battle. A lot of the recent meetings between these two teams have been low scoring. Each of the 3 meetings last year were low scoring, 10 combined goals in those 3 games. Got to go with the under 5.5 here. Next, we head to the American Airlines Center where the Dallas Stars take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the Blue Jackets, well, now losers of 3 games in a row after a 2-0 loss to the New York Islanders in their last matchup. The Dallas Stars only popped one past the Toronto Maple Leafs, but we know what this Stars team is. They're going to be really good. I've said it before. Jake Ottinger going to be my pick to win the Vezina this season. But I think as far as Monday's matchup goes, and we just got a bit of a lower scoring battle here. The last 4 meetings between these two teams across the last the last 2 years have all gone under the number. We would have had games that, going back to March of 2021 would have been 7 straight unders, but we had one total that was lined at 5, another one that went 5-1 with a total of 5.5. So to me, this just plays out as a low scoring battle. For me, it's just all about if the Stars can pop a few past the Blue Jackets netminder. Whether that's Merzlikins or whether that's Spencer Martin. Not 100% sure, but I'm going to still stick with the under 6.5. Like I said, I think it's just a lower scoring battle. I wouldn't be surprised if the Blue Jackets got shut out here. Up next, we head to the Mullet Arena where the Arizona Coyotes take on the Chicago Blackhawks. And, you know, the Arizona Coyotes have had decent amount of success at Mullet Arena going back to last year. But outside of that, I don't see this price for the Coyotes. Sure, Arizona won both meetings in Arizona last year. The home teams actually won each of the last 4 meetings between the Blackhawks and the Coyotes. But Arizona Coyotes are only 1 game better than the Chicago Blackhawks right now in the loss column. Both have 3 wins. Arizona's got 4 L's while Chicago has 5. But this is also a Chicago team that's won all 3 of their wins this season have come on the road. And the Arizona Coyotes, they're coming off of back-to-back losses and beatdown losses at that to the Los Angeles Kings. To me, this is just taking a shot on the value here. This isn't one of my favorite games on the board, but to pass on the Blackhawks when I think this game should be closer to a coin flip, like a minus 130, 135 for the Coyotes, to get plus 155 on the take back with the Blackhawks, I got to take it. Give me the Chicago Blackhawks on the money line here. Our final game on Monday's card takes us to the T-Mobile Arena where the Golden Knights take on the Canadiens. And the Vegas Golden Knights, well, as much as this team is playing well and as much as they are 8-0-1 to start the year, their last few games have not been all that comfortable. They they beat the Los Angeles Kings, the Chicago Blackhawks, and Philadelphia Flyers. All those games were decided by 1 goal. I should say they beat the Kings, and the Flyers lost to the Blackhawks in overtime. Um, but they're playing 1 goal games. They're playing tight. They're not as convincing as they were earlier on this season, and I just don't know if I'm ready to lay this kind of price with Vegas, with Montreal on the other side. Montreal's kind of been in the same boat. You know, they lost to the New Jersey Devils, but this is still a Montreal team that has won 4 of their last 5 games. You know, they won back-to-back games at home against Winnipeg and Columbus. Now, head-to-head, this has been Vegas for the most part the last couple of years, but 2 of the last 3 meetings have been decided by 1 goal. Um, Montreal 5-2 on the puck line so far this season. Their 2 most recent games on the road have been decided by a goal. And Vegas has played 3 straight 1 goal games as well, like I mentioned. So I'm gonna take a shot here with the Canadiens plus the goal and a half. I might put a little bit on this game to go to overtime as well at plus 330. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Monday, October 30th, 2023. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, make sure you have notifications turned on to get the newest and most up-to-date content here at Pick Dawgz. And a reminder, if you're looking for my best bets, check out Pick Dawgz Premium and let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Good luck.